Hey, it's Kimberly and Miranda with Tipsy Mystics, and we are here on presidential debate night.
Yeah.
What are you drinking today, Miranda, in honor of the debate we're not watching?
In honor of the debate, I'm drinking something not from America. Well, from South America. I'm drinking some Kuma Malbec from Argentina.
Oh, Argentina does a good job of things.
They do. They do a great job of wine. That is on my bucket list.
And
to do a South American wine tour.
Oh, I was just thinking of the polo players and fun stuff like that. But
I'd like to do them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good idea too, right? So make it a whole trip.
When in Argentina.
Well, I am actually, I have decided that I've been dehydrated lately, so I decided just to mix the vodka directly with the electrolytes.
Oh, perfect.
So I've got this noon tablet in there and some vodka added to it, and I'm totally okay with that. I mean, I'm just taking care of the hangover in advance.
Oh my gosh, that's so efficient.
I thought
What flavor is your noon tablet?
Guess which flavor? Watermelon.
Oh,
watermelon. I'm on my watermelon kick.
It's our new shtick.
Mm-hmm.
We're like Gallagher. We're gonna start smashing them.
Or drinking them. It actually kind of tastes like watermelon too, which is really surprising because usually,
it has like a fake watermelon taste.
Yeah.
That used to be like one of my favorite bubblegum flavors. I forget which brand, but it was watermelon flavor. It didn't taste like real watermelon. It had its own flavor, but I was just like obsessed with it. And of course, bubble gum loses its flavor within, 3 to 5 minutes if it's a good one. So you got to keep spitting it out. As soon as it loses flavors, bubble gum makes me want to vomit. So I would have to spit it out, put in another one.
And that's your timeline. Is that still your timeline, or
bubblegum making me want to vomit after too long? Oh yeah. I mean, it's been a long time.
Bubblegum at all.
I don't recall the last time I had a piece of gum. I mean, probably somebody had it and I needed a refreshment, and so I took it. But usually I'll just have a mint because I can't handle gum. But when I was a kid, watermelon bubble gum, my jam.
Never could do gum. I really couldn't. It's the same way, but for me, it loses the flavor in like 8 seconds. And then I'm like, yeah, I got to get this out of here. It's disgusting.
Oh, like fruit stripe loses it. Fruit stripe is like the best flavor, and it's gone immediately. Just this elusive treat.
How's that for marketing? Buy my gum and keep buying my gum because you love the flavor so much.
And it comes in a pack of 5. It was, I don't know, 10 cents or something. But
do you know what I really would love? I know they kind of tried to make them, but the everlasting gobstopper.
Oh, yeah, they have them.
No, that came from Willy Wonka, though.
Okay.
It came from the movie. You're younger than me by like.
Have you ever had the ones that are your hand sized?
But they don't have the magical abilities that the one from
that's
Willy
true.
Wonka had. So
okay,
that's what I'm looking for. We're looking for 5D candy.
Yes, we're bringing the actual everlasting gobstopper.
We're bringing that. We're bringing
on the yacht.
Gum that never loses its flavor.
Yes.
Right?
Put it on the yacht. Have I talked about the yacht? That I probably talked about it, but I'll just mention it again. So, like Noah's Ark, I'm building the new Noah's Ark to take us to New Earth, and you get to put on it whatever, like animals, whatever you want to bring to New Earth, you get to put on the yacht. So.
Which animals have you chosen so far? I'm not sure I've ever actually heard this story.
Oh, you don't have to. No, it's not animals. It's like Noah's Ark. He brought 2 animals.
Well, you're gonna leave them all to drown, or what? Or just
you just bring things that you enjoy from 3D. What do you want to bring to New Earth? Right.
Okay. Well, I have a question about that. I have
Okay.
a question about
All right.
that because you've got your little yacht, right? And I'm starting to see on my timelines now that things are disappearing, right?
Put it on the yacht. Comes with us.
Well, what I'm
If you want
saying, there are lost cats everywhere. I'm seeing like everywhere I go, there's a pole with a lost cat thing on it. And I'm like, I want to call the owners and say, I think your cat's gone to 5D. I think your cat took off from the 3D world and they've gone to the next level.
I mean, I don't think they want to.
I don't think it'd go over well.
I don't think they'd be receptive to that message.
I don't think it would go over well. Yeah. But I mean, I'm seeing these things disappear and I'm looking at them from a different perspective, right? And I have another explanation of what could be going on. And so I was just wondering if maybe you had a lot of cats on your yacht. I don't know. It sounded fishy to me.
See, cats are sentient beings. They can make their own choices. But like,
actually, they make better choices than most humans do.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. But things like an everlasting gobstopper is not a sentient being. We got to put it on the yacht. We got to take it with us, right?
But it has consciousness. I mean,
everything is made of consciousness. So yeah, that's inherent.
So do we have to, I mean,
there aren't any hard and fast rules, Kim.
Of course there are. There's universal laws we have to go by.
Not on the yacht. You get to bring whatever you want. Whatever your little heart desires to not leave behind. Like, I'm not going to leave behind amazing cheese boards. No way. No how. They are coming.
Like vegan, with or without the cheese? With or without the cheese? Are you talking just the boards that the cheese go on, or a whole charcuterie plate thing?
The whole thing, the whole elaborate setup.
Yeah, with the little nuts and the little dried apricots and stuff.
Pretty.
Yeah, fig jam.
Oh, fig jam, goat cheese. Oh, yes, that's gotta come. Like, I'm sorry, vegans, but like, who says the cows don't love giving us their milk?
Yeah,
brings them joy to like give to us and bring us joy. Who's to say that that's not true?
I gotta say, I went to a beach party this past weekend, and bless their hearts, they were cooking in the sand, and they dropped all of my veggie burgers in the sand, and they were very apologetic because then there was, everything else was ribs and stuff, and I'm like, that's cool, we got plenty of dip and stuff here, I'll do that. And there was this plate of cheese, and it was next to me, and there was aged white cheddar. And I mean, if there's 3 words on this plane that make me happier, maybe I love you might, maybe, but aged white cheddar
sparks joy.
It was magical. So I know that those cows, and in cases of the other cheese that I had, sheep and goat.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the energy from those cheeses was from a pretty well taken care of animal. That's what I gotta say. So it brought me so much joy to eat that cheese. I mean, a lot of cheese, not a little bit of cheese, a lot of cheese.
A lot of cheese and a lot of joy.
A lot of cheese and a lot of joy. So although I don't buy it at home, I gotta say, I'm so glad I made that choice to just try something that is a little bit, okay, maybe it's a little bit in my past, but now I'm looking at it from another perspective of this cheese is damn good. Thank you. Gratitude. It's going on the yacht.
Put the gratitude out there. Make sure that it's, if you're buying it, look for grass-fed and pasture-raised animals. Make sure that at least is supported, but who's to say?
Well, I know that we've been talking about food, of course, nonstop since we started, but that's typical, right?
We're at around 10 minutes. offer food.
The show truly starts at 10:05.
Yeah, if anyone just wants to wait 10 minutes after we say we're going to start, if you don't want us to make you hungry
or thirsty. Okay, we're talking about waiting because this week was a huge week of waiting for both of us.
It's only Tuesday. It's only fucking Tuesday.
All right, I'll include from Friday till now.
Yeah.
Right? Now I know you this morning had a little bit of a frustration with waiting, or was it yesterday? I can't remember.
It was yesterday and this morning.
So what went on? Because what are you waiting for?
So trying to put in an offer on this house, and my mortgage advisor has gone MIA. I emailed her. I went to see the house on Saturday, and then I emailed her on Sunday because my pre-approval had lapsed and needed to be renewed, and we needed to get the information for the loan to put in the offer. So I emailed her Sunday early evening and said, let me know tomorrow when you get this. Give me a call. We'll talk about it. And let me know what I need to send you. And then didn't hear anything from her. Gave her a call at around 3 yesterday and left her a voicemail. She didn't answer. Nothing. And then around, 7:30, sent another email saying, hey, just checking in to see if you had received my last email and my voicemail. Please let me know. Let's chat in the morning. And then by 11 p.m. today, still crickets, not a thing. So I call her again. I don't like to bug people. I know you got other shit going on. I'm not the universe doesn't revolve around me. Just say when I'm clearly concerned that you haven't responded. I don't know if you got this. Just say, hey, I got it. I'm on it. I'll talk to you tomorrow, or whatever it is. Let's take 2 seconds. That's all I need. And she finally answered. She's like, oh yeah, I talked to your agent yesterday. It sounds really good. Everything checks out. Yeah, you don't even really have to send me anything. I was like, well, I have it already, so I'll just email it over to you, all my updated financial docs. And she's like, do you have any questions for me? And I was like, in my head, I was like, well, fuck yeah, I do. All the ones I put in my email. You haven't talked to me, so you sure as hell haven't answered them. Anyway, and then I, got off the phone, and she did her thing, and I talked to her a little bit just to go over stuff. She's like, and I'm just like, okay, great, let's get off the phone because I'm annoyed. But it was just we all know I've been waiting forever to find a house.
Yes.
And then to find
one.
And then I want to put the offer in. I want things to move forward. And I was really thinking we would have got the offer in on Monday and I would hear by today. But now I'm not even going to be able to put the offer in until tomorrow. And then we're not going to hear till Thursday at noon. So I'm just chomping at the bit, and I'm not in fear that I'm going to lose the house. I know if it's for me, it'll be there. This has nothing to do with it, but it's been months, I feel, of waiting about the house, but it's been 36 years of me waiting for stuff. I've always, for my entire life that I'm aware of, known that I'm waiting. You know what I mean? I've always trusted. I've always been okay, amazing things are coming. If I just trust, if I just wait, if I'm just patient, all of this stuff is going to happen for me. I don't know what it is. I don't know when it's coming, but I've just always had this knowing. And for almost 37 years now, I just still feel like I'm waiting. And last night, after another fucking wall, I feel in my way, of total lack of communication. It was, I had another nervous breakdown, just crying and like, I like to, I've called it lately, I'm Veruca salty today, when I like
with or without the knee socks.
Yeah, I need it now, Daddy. I need an Oompa Loompa now. And that was me to like, my team and my guides. And I was like, but I need it now. Like, give me a thing. Like, give me some sort of just some sort of magical thing. Something in the physical. I just need to see something. Like, I've spent all of my years, like, I did the hard work. I did the healing. I've done the trusting my whole life. Like, no crazy shit happened. There's not a single thing that has happened to me apart from synchronicities that I can't, and even those, like, you can explain them away. There's not a single thing that has like shown up to me that I can't explain away. And yet I'm still here. I still trust. I still know all of these things. But it's like, it would be really fucking nice. If like hook a sister up with like to put something in front of my face, like either the things that I truly desire, like magically working out for me, like this house, coming to fruition, or I don't fucking know, like show me pink elephants, like on flying bicycles, fly by. Like
it happens all the time,
right? Like, give me just literally something that I can't. Just give me something. I need like something. And I was just having a nervous breakdown. Like, I deserve it, and I want it now, and I like can't wait. I need some sort of like boost up to Magic Town, right? I feel like
Magic Town.
So do you know what I mean? I'm just like, I'm waiting, and then I like get upset, and I go, okay, I can be patient again, and I go through another like month or so, especially during this quarantine. I was like, 2020 is my fucking year. Back in January, I was like, I'm gonna start dating again. I'm gonna like get my business started. I'm gonna like all of the check, all these things. Fucking 2020, this is the shit. And here we are, about to be October, and I'm like, give me a thing, right?
Well, actually, I think it was the last episode where you were like, yeah, everything's good. I'm not really needing anything, right?
And here I go down the fucking roller coaster again.
It
like
is
an animal.
It's a total roller coaster. And if I could say anything to anyone who's starting out, the roller coaster is real. And once you learn how to ride it, it gets way easier. So
but it's always, let's just say, it's always one of those old wooden ones where you're like,
oh yeah, where your neck is going like this
the whole time.
I actually got whiplash from one of those wooden ones in Missouri somewhere, and the doctor said, you have the neck of a 70-year-old woman. I'm like, oh, thank you. That was the roller coaster. So hold on to your neck, but it truly is a roller coaster in that you're flying high and you're happy and everything's going great. And then you do a little dip and there's some clearing to happen. So what Miranda just did was a shitload of clearing right there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's important, is that once you recognize it and you're aware of it and you get it out in some healthy manner, it goes away.
Yeah.
Right? You move up a level in your evolution where you have, next time if something like that comes around, you're going to be like, this old thing again. Oh yeah, we're going up that rickety hill with the and
it's like you go through the anticipation, then you get to the top and you're like stuck.
Right. Well, because you are stuck with, this is your lesson, even though the word is time. You're learning about time. Right? We've got expectations. Welcome to Earth, by the way. You just got here. I know you've only been here for 37 years, but it's all about the time, and it's all about the damn waiting for things to manifest.
It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard shit. But yeah, I did all the crying, and I did have all the anger, which, anger gets a bad rap, but man, let it out. Be angry. There's nothing wrong with it. get to be pissed off that like stuff's taking longer than you would like it to, or that the things aren't showing up. You'll have to be angry about it.
In fact, if you're not and you fake it, then you're not being authentic to begin with, right? And so we don't think the universe is going to recognize that.
Well, yeah.
I'll just push that away. Fiddle-dee-dee, said Scarlett O'Hara, right? I'll worry about that tomorrow. Well, if you push it in like that and you keep saying, I'm not going to deal with it now, it's going to come back bigger and bigger. So get it out like she just did and have a temper tantrum and wear bunny blouses like you're wearing. It's very cute.
I don't know if you can see it. It's a bunny.
It's very cool. That's a very cool bunny. And get it out. So the waiting part, the time part, the expectation part, right? It's the why isn't this coming to me on my time frame part, right? And with you, it's a little bit different than what a lot of people are going through, because a lot of people are waiting for twin flames, souls, men, women, other people to come to them. You're waiting for a house to come to you, right? So
but I'm waiting for I'm waiting for the person too. I had that whole argument last night. I'm sick of feeling like I'm in all of it alone. You know what I mean? Like I just feel like I'm waiting for everything right now. I'm waiting to even know what I'm waiting for, which is absolutely insane. To be like, I know I'm waiting to find out what I'm going to be doing, who I'm going to be with, where I'm going to be like I literally have no clue, and I'm getting frustrated, and I'm ready to go. Let's move ahead. Let's get rid of whatever needs to clear. Get rid of it.
This is Miranda talking to the universe. Give it to me now.
Yeah.
I want it now, Daddy.
You want it now, Daddy?
I want an Oompa Loompa. Well, I was waiting, but I wasn't really sure what I was waiting for. I want to talk about how excited I was about redoing my headshots. I live in Los Angeles and you have to have headshots, but I needed some headshots for a project that we are involved in. And I haven't had them done in 3 years. So I set up with this fantastic photographer who did them last time. I was so excited to go in and capture the new Kimberly. I was like, we're going to get me. And this is communication too, right? This is me communicating my form, basically for eternity in a photo that will go who knows where, right? And who knows what will be started from even an idea about my photo. So basically, every single thing that we put out, whether it be a word or a photo or a song or something we write, it goes into other people's worlds and they grow from it and they use it to create from. So it's a huge bit of communication to have your photo done. I was so excited. We were talking about, and then you were like, did you pick your clothes out? I'm like, no. And I'm like, I thought I was excited. And are you ready to go? You said that in the morning. I'm like, yeah, I guess so. Right? And as excited as I thought I was, all of a sudden, I got there, and he's a lovely man. I've known him for years. He's done some of the most beautiful and the least beautiful people and made them look truly authentic. So I know it's not him, but when I got in there, I could not relax. And I felt like it was almost like 6th grade, right? Where you're like,
picture day?
Like, smile, picture day. Yeah, they're like, smile. And I'm like, it was like the favorite smile I could ever make. I felt like every single muscle in my face was frozen.
What do I do with my hands?
Right. And there's 3 people working on me. There's 3 people. It's not like it's just him. There's people fixing stuff and moving me over and move this and don't do that. And there was a lot of don't do that. And and then you get to see them before you go. You flip through them. I'm like, I don't like any of these. Holy shit! I hope he took some good ones that I didn't see because I don't like any of these.
Mm-hmm.
And
today,
it's like, today you saw them. I'm like, holy shit! Who is this woman?
You got them.
Who is this woman? Who is this woman?
Ms. Derwin.
Oh, were they? Yeah, they wrote my name wrong, but but I'm like, every single photo I looked at, I'm like, that's not me. That's not me. That is totally not me.
No, it's like other timeline Kimberly where she
was really fucking uptight or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt like maybe you work on QVC and like sell decorative vases and like jewelry and stuff.
Right? I'm like,
you look good. I mean, you look beautiful.
Well, thank you, but
you definitely don't look like you. You look like maybe this is a hostage situation, like think twice if you're okay. Are you being forced to sell QVC jewelry?
Let me tell you. And he's like, what would make you comfortable? Which music? I'm like, well, Janis Joplin, duh, right? So on goes Janis Joplin, and I am literally in the studio until he told me to stop, belting out loudly her songs. Like, and he's taking pictures while I'm belting out loudly. He's like, well, COVID and all that. I guess people spit when they sing. You're not allowed to do that. And I'm like, okay, well, he said, but it was fun while it lasted. And so I'm like, okay, we've got to at least get some good ones from that, right?
Yeah. He didn't send them to you. Did
he? He had to. I mean, he sent them to me. They just didn't look like me. Not a single one looks like me. Yeah. And so I sent you one later that I took in my bathroom with my iPhone, and I'm like, that looks like me. So what I realized is that I'm just not a studio person. No, I could never be a newscaster because no.
Well, I mean, you got the look in those photos. Those photos say Kimberly It's Ms. Derwin.
Ms. Derwin.
The 5-day forecast coming up next.
Well,
scream it.
Deb, thank you for letting us know that this is way better than the presidential debates. We agree. I can't even imagine what somebody goes through before they have to go like live and they want to look like somebody other than themselves, right? Because most of the time people don't want to look like themselves. They want to look like somebody different. And I'm like, just let me look like me. And I couldn't even do that. I mean, now I do. Now this is 100% me here. But I don't think I was captured in the photos.
It was very awkward looking. But you did look beautiful. So.
Well, thank you. But, and that, retouching does a lot too. But you can't, here's me with a pen. The pen is blue. Sorry. You can't fake some stuff. You can't fake what's inside.
Yeah.
Because that comes out in your eyes. That comes out, that's where your soul speaks to people. And it just wasn't in my eyes or my smile, which is here right now.
Yeah.
So that just starts out our talk about communication, because I think you had some astrological stuff that I don't understand to talk about with respect to communication.
No, I have astrological things to talk. Well, no, I did talk about Mercury earlier today. So Mercury is currently in Scorpio, and Scorpio is the sign of healing.
And the badass, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's very badass. It's healing, but it's at the highest level. It's empowerment and integrity. Right, so integrating. But before that, it comes revelation of our shadow. Right before you get to healing, it goes the revelation of your shadow. So all of these things that are coming up, like me being ignored by my mortgage advisor for a day and a half, like all of these, I was like, am I invisible? How do I communicate? How do I get this person's attention? What mode of communication is going to work? Like a carrier pigeon? like you with your communicating who you are, and how to find a way that you can do that's authentic. But all of these things are coming up and showing themselves to us while Mercury is in Scorpio as a means to, be healed and be integrated and help us be powerful, badass, bitches or bros, whatever.
Bitches or bros.
So so that's happening. Other astrological things that are happening in relation to waiting is that today, which is the 29th of September, Saturn is going direct, finally. And then in about 5 days or something, October 4th, which is this coming Sunday, Pluto is going direct. And Jupiter just started going direct like 2 weeks ago or something. So all of these big planets that were in retrograde are now going to start moving forward again. And so when things are in retrograde, regardless of the planet, I mean, we all understand Mercury retrograde, right? Or we've heard of it. I don't know if you understand it, but
shit breaks.
So anything that's in retrograde, just put re in front of it. And that's what you're supposed to be doing during that time. Like reworking, renewing, reevaluating, like just going back, right? So we take retrogrades regardless of what the planet is that's retrograding. And we look back on our past and review things that have happened. And as we've talked about before, when you review it, stuff's going to come up, right? To be healed, to be looked at, to be evaluated. Does this still resonate with me? And sometimes it's hard stuff and it's big stuff. And sometimes it's just coming up for you to be like, oh no, I don't have to deal with that anymore. You just need to make that choice to say, no, that's no longer resonates with me. That's no longer something I want to deal with. But all these things are going to come up, from your past. And it kind of depends on what house it is in your chart. But, it could be like old boyfriends or girlfriends or old, relationships or arguments with people in the past or, old conversations you've had with someone or old coworkers could come up, or just old bullshit, especially with Pluto being one of the planets that's retrograde. Just old wounds and stuff can be showing up from the past for you to reevaluate them and re-see them. And then Saturn is really our need to do the hard work and father time and that like plotting success, what we call success, what we call, the things that we have worked really hard for. Like not success that comes easy. Like this is time, right? So Saturn going retrograde in Capricorn, which is the sign that rules it. Time has like slowed to a crawl. So now that all of
just for you too, right?
For everybody, it's just like it's all it's just slowed down for everyone, and this is for the collective too. This is for the whole world. Everyone's going through this stuff, but it usually, like on your chart, look at the house, and that's the context for probably how these things are going to come up. And those planets are going to usually have like an archetype in your life that they come up. Like Saturn is often your father. Pluto stuff is, shadow figures in your life, like people that really hold the stuff that you don't want to admit about yourself or look at yourself. So look at that. But now that they're moving forward, things are going to, we've passed a review session. So over the next couple of days, especially with Pluto before Sunday, all this stuff is coming up for us to like get rid of it finally. Before they move forward. And this is the last time Saturn's going to be moving into Aquarius, right? So we're moving into the age of Aquarius as far as that's concerned. So the way that we look at success is really going to change into a more Aquarian, lighthearted, free-spirited way, which I'm really excited about, right? No, that hippie shit, right?
The hippie shit, basically. So we're gonna be like, festival people.
With a higher perspective about what that means and what is perfection, right? We know that we're always perfect. Everything we've ever done has been incredibly perfect and planned out, and it was supposed to be, no matter how horrific and horrible and a stupid decision you thought you made, like that was the perfect decision. That was the perfect
to get you where you are now.
To get you to, you know, have the experience that you wanted to have and to get you where you are now. But, you know, I'm really excited for Saturn to go into everything to go in Aquarius. We've been waiting for the age of Aquarius for too damn long, right?
Of Aquarius.
I know, I have my very 60s with my bell sleeves and
that's badass.
Sure. But so these planets are going to start moving forward, and over the next couple days and the past few days, like all this shit's coming up for you to see it, for you to love it, for you to let it go, and then time's going to start moving forward more quickly.
It better, because damn.
Better.
I'm telling you, you know, you were talking about this now. This is the first I've heard of all this astrological stuff you just said, right? But I believe in it. I totally understand how it happens and how, you know, we're set up at a certain point in time when we're born and all the energies are set in a certain way. But I was going through like all sorts of healing. I don't even use that word very often on Sunday. And it was all related to everything you just said, but I didn't tell you that. So it was all sorts of like old relationships that never got fully closed on my end. There was, you know, communication issues with my son that finally got solved. And all of a sudden I just found myself, you know, usually when there's something that needs to be cleared, it's like, oh, something's coming, right? That roller coaster we were talking about, something's coming. Okay, well, I'm just going to hang out on the couch and let it pass, right? Feel the feelings and cry or eat or whatever and let it pass. And I thought about that on Sunday morning, and it lasted all day.
Yeah.
And like, that's how I know that was a big hill.
It was big stuff yesterday. It was big, and I didn't realize it. And then anytime those big things happen now, I realize the next day or so, I'm physically so exhausted. Because it's a physical shift. All these things are coming out energetically because we're getting this increase of higher light, higher frequencies that are coming into our body, and that we need to make space for it. So this like denser shit moves out, and everything is so physical. Everything like comes through your form. So it just, I mean, we didn't realize this before, but anytime like, you know, you were younger and a crazy emotional event, you're just exhausted the next day. You know what I mean? And now we kind of know what it's just energetically, your physical form is like moving shit around in your body.
I don't get too many ascension symptoms anymore, meaning like physical symptoms, but Sunday, oh my gosh, it felt like I had strep throat, like, and of course that's the throat chakra, right? And so I was like, oh, great. Now we're in the middle of a pandemic. So of course, what's the first thing you think? And then you got to remember that, oh, I forgot, I'm creating my reality. If I go down that path of, oh, now I'm sick, right? That's exactly where we're going to hit. So the ascension symptom thing was like, well, you know what? I'm not tired or anything. My throat hurts. And so I was able to kind of look inside and say, you know what? Before you start going down the path of darkness like you're so wont to do most of the time, let's try that you're just clearing something, and that it'll be gone when it's gone, right? And so then you learn how to just kind of ride out the wave a little bit. I didn't. And the food thing, oh my God, I don't know what happened to my diet over the past week, but it is wild. Like, I can't. It's as if I'm 9 months pregnant. Right? Seriously, like I ate kale and a peanut butter and jelly granola bar, and then all of a sudden I'm eating hummus, and I'm cooking gnocchi, And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like all of these things that I never eat, or at least would never eat together, all of a sudden they're just go right down the hatch. So it was obviously an ascension symptom I don't wish to have all that often, but I did eat some very unusual combinations that I might try again someday.
The kale and PB&J.
The kale and
horrible.
It was actually really good, but that's the way that we release energy. I'm not the first one to say that we eat our emotions, right?
Oh yeah, right? I do a lot, and then you digest them and release them.
Yeah, I digested them and released them. I mean, I still kept exercising and all of that, but I really have noticed since I think Friday the difference in the energy that we're receiving. It's if you imagine a light bulb got brighter.
The lumens, or what is it?
Yeah, it's like we turned up our frequency a little bit. We got brighter. We've got more lumens.
Yeah.
And I can feel it in the air. I can feel it around me. I can feel it in the people that are walking by. They have no clue most of the time, right? I mean, that they are even existing on a 5D level. Mm-hmm. But as you go a little higher up, you learn to recognize every single person on that level, and sometimes you forget about the 3D part. So I can see that they are all. It might translate to just being relaxed for most people, like way more relaxed. Mm-hmm. So I went to the beach on Saturday, and there was a beach party, and all the way down the beach there were large groups of people with fire pits and tiki torches and barbecues, and I'm like, this does not look like a pandemic at all, right? People just got to the point where they're like, I need to be with other people, and I'm gonna risk it if that's what I have to do.
I can't be afraid anymore. I know, like when my sister, originally the kids were supposed to go back to school starting in, September, to live instruction. And I was like, well, are you concerned about that? And she said, I can't be. She's like, I need them to go back to school, so I can't be. I mean, now they have a totally different setup because they went around opening schools, and she's like, well, now this is working so great, I don't want to actually go back to school because it might screw it up. But that was, I think, where a lot of people are right now. No, I can't have fear because I need things to change in my, you know what I mean? I need things to change in my life, so I can't have fear. And that's kind of the point of this whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. For us to face the fear and be like, well, I just can't have it. I need this for my own mental health, for my own safety. I need to move past fear. I need to just and move past it, not acknowledge it, not to push it down, but to acknowledge it and say, okay, I feel this, I'm making a conscious decision that that I can't fall victim to this because it's not good. It's not creating the life that I want. So I'm not going to fall victim to that. Which is great. So I think a lot of people are getting to that point. And they're just worried. I mean, there's so many other things. Obviously, it's presidential debate night. There's so many other things people are worried about right now, as you should be. Like all my conversations, which, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, were COVID fears. Now, I'm texting, my girlfriend text group, and it's all about, the election and voting and stuff. And well, I'm afraid, but I'm afraid that my vote's not going to count more than I'm afraid I'm going to get COVID going to vote in person. So I'm going to go vote in person. I know my mom is she's got a plan. Her and her hippie neighbor dude are going together. They're going to the firehouse. She's like, I'll bring snacks. I'll wait all day if I have to. I am going. I'm not afraid.
They don't, because they're afraid to send it in the mail. Is that it?
Yeah, that it won't be counted. Their vote won't be counted because there's all this controversy and shit. And they're everyone's I want my vote to be counted. And if that means I have to go and not be afraid of this fucking disease, I'm going to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, most people were like, oh my gosh, I get to vote by mail. That's so easy. Thank God. Right. And now people are like, well, what if my vote doesn't count? See, there's a big identity thing happening there. People are finally starting to be aware of they're starting to learn their power.
Yeah.
Right?
It used to be, oh, I'm not going to vote because one vote doesn't count. And now people are like, I literally can't allow my vote not to count. I need to physically go to the polls because this is so important.
I'm going to risk death.
Yes.
To make sure that my vote counts. That's huge progress.
Right? And in like a couple months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Good stuff's happening. Good stuff's coming.
It is. It's just you gotta wait.
Uh-huh. Oh.
Sorry, I just said that.
This is when we smash the
pumpkin.
Watermelon.
Oh, pumpkins. That's something different, right?
I mean, it is pumpkin season, so I guess we could do that.
Speaking of pumpkins, we were talking about pie.
Mm-hmm.
And we're back to food again, because, in whatever healing thing I'm going through with the communication, it certainly is alleviated by eating.
Yeah.
And we were talking about pie and that I'm pie impaired. Now we're coming up on holiday season. Right?
Uh-huh. Pie season.
I am pie impaired. So I have a family of amazing cooks. My mother was Sicilian. I mean, the whole thing. Everybody's an amazing cook, amazing bakers. And then there's me. Now, I'm a good cook, okay? I can cook. But I cannot make a pie to save my life. I can't do it. I have tried my mother's secret recipe, my sister's best recipe. I've even bought Crisco shortening, which obviously is not going with us to 5D, right? So we're just going to use it as much as possible until then. And I cannot make a pie. And I think that part of the thing is that I say I cannot make a pie. And so what happens?
You can't make a pie.
I can't make a goddamn pie.
It's like me with the plants.
People saying I have a black thumb.
Yeah.
Same thing, right? So all of a sudden, now you're sending out that energy of you being a plant killer. The plant gets it. The plant's like, oh shit. She's gonna give me way too much water, right? Or forget about me for 6 weeks. And that's what happens.
Yeah.
So I'm really noticing now.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Exactly. I'm really noticing how quickly, despite your hating to wait, things are manifesting. Like really fast. I tell you my bat story. I told you my bat story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was walking yesterday, and it's really dark. It's dark when I get there in the morning, and it was just starting to dawn, and I was thinking, you know what? I don't see enough bats on my walk. I love bats. And then 4 minutes later, I get dive bombed by a bat from behind, and it dive bombs me right over my head, and then poof, right in front of my eyes, it disappears. I'm like, now that was badass.
Yeah.
Right?
That's cool magic. That's what I like.
Cool. I'm taking credit for that, and I'm recognizing that I have the power to create a disappearing bat in front of me. And as those limitations get lifted little by little, you start to actually have fun. So I think that you probably have more of these things happen to you than you think. But I don't know. I don't know if you walk every day like I do, but most of it happens outside of my house, outside of my familiar surroundings.
Yeah, I mean, I do, now that it's not as god-awfully hot, I do try and walk. I mean, it's raining today, but I don't know. I just don't. I think a lot of it is that so much of this has always happened in my life, the manifesting. Like, I was a young kid, and my mom told me, she's like, Miranda, you have such an amazing ability to manifest whatever you want. And I was like, I do what now? But, you know, I think it's part of it, and I'm going to brag, but like a lot of it is just like I said earlier, like I've always really trusted that things are coming and things are going to happen and the best in people, and, you know, had a lot of unconditional love. I've just kind of came in with a little bit higher frequency than other people, and I've always been there. And so this manifest, and when I manifest stuff, it doesn't seem any different now than it used to, because I was always in that place where those things came to me as they did, you know, relatively like easier than other people. So it's not, I want to see like a change, but people are just catching up to where I've always been. And so they're like, holy shit, whoa, look at that. And where I'm just like now, like, oh, that you didn't have that. We don't have that experience. I do have a funny story. My girlfriend we were texting, and she was complaining about like, it's a long story, but like wanting a place in DC for insurance reasons. And I was like, well, you can, but she didn't actually want to live in DC, but she needed an address there. And I was like, oh, well, why don't you just get a place and like sublet it? And then you have an address, you can collect your mail, but like you're subletting it, so you don't really have to spend the money. And she's like, yeah, but then you have to find a place and find someone to do that. And I was like, well, when I lived in DC, my landlord was totally cool. He totally would have, like, he would do whatever. You know what I mean? He'd be fine with that sort of situation. And she's like, yeah. Not 20 minutes later, I'm on Facebook. My landlord listing his house. Now, I lived in his English basement, but he was listing like he had the house above that he lived in. He was listing the house. 20 minutes later, and I go to her and I'm like, here you go. Like, and she doesn't, you know, and she's not where we are. She doesn't accept it. And she's just like, well, yeah, but I can't do that right now. And I was like, I'm just showing you that you asked the universe for something. You asked the universe for something, to have a house that you could, you know, or an apartment that you could sublet in DC. And 20 minutes later, the universe has presented that option to you. And she is like, it just goes over her head. You know what I mean? Like things do. She's like, well, I can't do that right now. And I'm like, it's the idea that like you asked and it was manifested moments late, you know, 20 minutes later, the universe has given it to you. And it's like we always used to be in that spot where we didn't recognize it and we didn't see it. And now if you're in it and you say, oh my God, yes, this is happening to me. The bat came and dive bombed me right after I asked about it. Acknowledge and trust that you caused that, you know, this house, that opportunity to like have a place in DC and or whatever, like it comes to you immediately. Like it's so fast, but we don't, when we're in like a denser energetic field, we just don't acknowledge it and we don't trust it. And we don't say, it's just all like I was saying, like, but we can explain that away. Like, oh, it's a coincidence. But when you get rid of coincidence, like you're creating.
No coincidence. You know, and that's funny that you said that, because while this photographer was taking pictures of me that don't look like me, he said, you know, how come I always see 1111? And I'm like, well, let's go ahead and talk about that. Right? And so this is just a normal person with no, you know, nobody that he knows that's going through an awakening process. He doesn't have a clue why, but a normal person that's recognizing the synchronicity of seeing 1111 on the clock. And when I'm sure if you're watching, you've probably seen it and you're like, what the hell is that? But other people will start asking you, why am I seeing it? And it's almost like coming up with an elevator pitch as to why, right? Because if you say too much weird, what they'll call new age stuff, right, they're going to glaze over and forget. But all you got to do is say, it's you sending yourself a message to pay attention to the coincidences.
Yeah.
Right.
I asked you that.
You probably did a long time ago,
in
right?
Vegas, not first Vegas, the second time we were in Vegas together.
Yeah, so it is your coincidence meter. It is you sending you a message. Hey, look, here it is again.
Yeah.
Why is that? Right? And that opens up that Pandora's box where you're like, okay, this is just too weird to be a coincidence.
Yeah.
And then, that opens up the floodgates. So
yeah, and then you can keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Keep recognizing, okay. And then other numbers show up, right? And for me, I went through years of crazy repeating numbers. I still see them now that I don't give them the relevance that I used to give them anymore.
I still do.
Yeah. Well, I recognize it. Like if
all day, every day. And still.
Yeah. So, because what happens is we start to assign meanings to certain repeating numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, 555 always means, okay, something's about to change / shit's going to happen in a second, right? And I've assigned that meaning to that number. Now, someone else has assigned it probably on websites that people go to. Joanna Scribes, she does a really good one. The angel number. I think hers are the closest to. When I read them, I'm like, yeah, that's me. But we've attached a relevance to these numbers, and then when they show back up for us, that is a form of communication with the self, right? This is the self talking to you. All right, you said that this number means something, so when you see it, pay attention.
Yeah.
It's there for you because it's communicating to you something, right? And it's up to you to decide whether you're going to use that as a building block for your reality, or maybe we've been talking about the census thing, right? I keep getting all these reminders. Make sure you fill in the census. If you don't fill in the census, this won't get done and this won't get done and children will starve and all those things. I'm like, I filled in the census thing like the day it came.
Yeah.
Just to get it out of there because I want to take care of those things. And I keep still getting them. And you said you do too.
Yeah.
I can't figure that one out. I have no freaking clue what that synchronicity is.
That and I was just laughing about this yesterday. The PA's been sending all these like, make sure to get your mail-in vote, like register to get your mail-in vote. I only go out and get my mail like maybe once a week. Every day I
think you're right. I think I'm getting those too.
Every day there's another one. And so my neighbor, we share like a porch and my window's open. She was out yesterday talking on the phone, getting her mail. And she's like, oh my God, get your mail ballot, get your mail ballot, get your mail ballot, get your mail ballot, get another mail-in ballot, get your mail ballot. Every day. And I was just like laughing my ass off at it. And like, I'm just like, oh my God, I get it. Why do you have to send me 800?
See, there's some kind of communication there that we're not recognizing, right? Or we haven't assigned a meaning to it yet that makes sense to our growth.
Yeah, like, something about making things count or showing up.
Making things count or your power or all of those things. So, and I got another call from the fake Social Security department. I didn't show up before the magistrate. It's the state of Texas this time. So, I know, and that's where Janis Joplin was born. That's the only thing I can think of, the state of Texas, as to why I would send myself that.
Well, I've been getting the text messages to Hope. I got 2.
Oh.
About totally different things. One was my Netflix wasn't paid, and the other one was, I forgot, something totally separate than Netflix, but to Hope.
Yeah, well, that's probably another one of your lives, and you're bleeding through. I've had that with Kate. I kept getting all these ones for Kate, who, just all same thing, and it's probably you. Little Miranda decided, she's like, you know what? I like Earth so much. I am going to create another life here on Earth, and that was a bleed through. So. Or,
Hope is also a word that
Oh, well, besides that, you don't need hope. You are freaking sunny. You were born with hope coming out your
I was.
ears.
Yeah, I was telling you. My only acting cred that I have is my 3rd grade Christmas play. And I was given, you didn't like audition or anything. It just gave some of us a role, and my name was Joy on it.
Oh, see?
And it was about aliens.
Yay!
Yeah, Leon and the Christmas Starship, and we had to explain to the alien what Christmas was about. And
they couldn't figure it out on their own. They're telepathic.
And I was the one who figured. Joy was the one who figured out that the name Leon backwards was Noel.
Was that in the play?
Yes. As my character, she was a smart one. She was like, well, Christmas is about love and joy and peace. And in the middle of peace, I hiccuped really loudly. And my uncle videotaped this. So this is me and my curler curls, picking my wedgie from my, early 90s purple leggings, crazy sweater, all this. But anyway. But
okay,
I remember the line because I hiccuped in the middle of it.
I hope that you can get that footage because I want to play it here.
I mean, my mom has it on a VHS. Yeah. You just need to find
that's easy
VHS player.
Oh yeah, no. We can get it. You can get it redone. They'll put it on MP4 for you. We're totally doing that because I want everyone to see that. I want to see you picking the leggings out of Anyway.
But yeah.
Okay, well, so much for waiting. We have come to the end of our podcast in silliness, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on with the presidential debate, and I hope everybody's having fun with that, but I had way more fun doing this. So yeah. So until next time.